airwaves to you. Hopefully you're not recording us like they do to Stuttering John. But yeah. Some guy actually went to one of John's gigs with this giant microphone. It was
I thought you were talking about when he got pulled over by the cops.
Oh, no, that one's hilarious, too.
Yeah,
but recently he went, he did a gig, and, like, it's just the goal to record John. Not so much during his show, but he had a meet and greet after. So this guy walks up, and he's got a big disc, like a black disc, lav mic thing right there. And John goes, "Is that a microphone?" And the guy goes, "No, it's a black poppy to support Ukraine." And John's like, "Oh, okay." And then just starts saying fucking nonsense that you wouldn't want recorded. He's the dumbest guy. It's so funny.
It's a high-tech black poppy with a sheer glass cover that's perfectly flat. Right.
It's like a movie, you know. Is that a microphone? Yeah. No, speaker. So what was that you were saying? Yeah, it's so blatantly obvious, and he just couldn't grasp it.
He's Scary Perry. He's yet another laughingstock character. I was just watching, just before I came here, I was watching Larry King on the post-O&A Opie show.
Oh, yes.
This feels kind of tacky to pull up, but I just looked at it. It came up on my phone a second ago. But talking about life after a show, it's what a catastrophe this clip is. Norton is great, and he brings up a great point. Like, was it a drama or a comedy? Yeah, that you want it to be clear what that is. They've got Judd Apatow. They're still getting amazing guests. And then Kevin Brennan appears to be in some weird, like, foxhole in the back.
He's sitting on the couch. That was kind of the, first of all, you don't want to have too many people in the studio.
No.
Why are you booking people all at the same time? I understand if it's Patrice and Nick DiPaolo and Rich Voss and Bob Kelly and Jim, then pack that studio out with those guys. But you got Larry King, Judd Apatow, and Kevin Brennan. There's no, they're not going to have some rapport or common stories about sitting at the cellar. You know, it's just going to be disjointed, obnoxious. And is this a comedy, a drama? Is it a serious interview show? Or, you have what the fuck is going on?
Peter Sellers, Steve Jobs, and Tanya Harding crammed into a room with fucking Gino. What is happening?
Yeah. I could see Larry King and Judd Apatow, but then it's the Larry King show. Right. Like Larry King will interview Judd Apatow, and you could sit back and watch the Larry King show on your show. So it doesn't make much sense. Larry has plenty to talk about by himself. Judd Apatow, plenty to talk about by himself. How about you stagger your guests and pick a time for Larry King, and then Larry, thanks for coming in. We have Judd Apatow coming up after these messages. And then if you want another comic there, Brennan's there with Jimmy, and they could bust balls on the guest if that's how the guest is. But that just loading up, it shows the desperation that he was going through at that point. Just give me everyone. He just wants to load the studio up to try to hide himself.
Right,
that he can't do this.
Or also show that I'm not a loser and it wasn't Anthony. I'm still incredibly popular. Look at all the guests I can get.
Right.
So you think this was Opie's decision?
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. It was absolutely Opie's decision. And, he thought, again, that this Opie show could be vindication for him. Like, oh, I'm not the funny one. I'm the board op. I'm the guy, the straight man. Watch me go without the anchor that was Anthony Cumia. And then he just loads the studio up as camouflage for his own inadequacies.
Like, I hate Judd Apatow, and I'm no fan of Larry King.
Hate him.
They both have an incredible canon of work. You could just and they're there promoting something, so you could just sort of sit back. It's a good relaxing it for an interviewer.
Yes.
ask a couple questions. What it was like for you starting out, and did you ever think you'd make it here? Some generic, stupid People magazine question, and then just enjoy yourself. Let them go.
Larry King has had so many celebrity and political guests, and he's got stories, like great stories about that. He sat there with Marlon Brando, and and you bring him in with Judd Apatow and fucking Kevin Brennan. Even Larry's like, what is this? What am I doing?
Yeah. Can you play the clip, Sean? I don't know if you dug that clip up on your own, though. I sent it to you last minute. Cumia, I think it's called. And you just see Jim doing a good job and everyone else confused.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yes, thank you, sir. 20th anniversary last week.
Wow. It was an underrated movie. You know what I liked about that movie? It really didn't know what it was. Was it a comedy? Or was it a drama?
It was disturbing.
Yeah. Did I feel sorry for Matthew Broderick?
Or
was I glad it was happening to him?
Exactly.
Although you never want to hear, was it a comedy or was it a drama? That's never good. Was it a porn or a biopic?
Some films like... Why don't you keep quiet? Jesus, Opie, you think it's your show?
He's Opie.
Close enough. You know what's funny?
I was smart enough to keep quiet, Larry.
You want to know something funny?
Yeah.
You look like an Opie.
I know.
He has no idea who they are.
There are some movies...
No.
But then why do we owe China so much money?
He was just, he probably did 5 shows before he even stepped into that show, and he was probably doing another 5 more around the studios, and it's just, who are you? Who are you
young people? You young upstarts, you Opies and Jims.
You kids, let me tell you kids about the broadcasting business.
Who the fuck, what did Brennan mean by, why do we owe China so much money? There's so many Opies. Was that a pun? I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Why do we owe China so much money? See, I'm confused even from watching that clip 13 times today.
I'm confused. Yeah, that's what that was. But I get to have Jimmy on my show Sunday, though, because I'll be live, like I said, in New York. And this Sunday, Jim will be joining me for the entire 3 hours of the Anthony Cumia show Sunday on WABC and its assorted affiliates.
Well, you know what you should do? You should consider trying to get Larry King and Judd Apatow in the studio, too.
Yeah. Of course. And a few others, maybe. I don't know.
Kevin Brennan.
Get Brennan on there. What are you doing, Cumia? Listen to him. He's talking to Jimmy. Yeah, I'm talking to Jimmy. What's the problem? Mental patient.
What are you, MAGA? You're MAGA?
MAGA.
I know what time it is. I know you're all MAGA.
All you cops. That cop should have dragged him out of that fucking car and made him go through a sobriety test. It must have been the end of his shift, and he had it. Because that wasn't a normal person. They were either really psychologically damaged, which I think he is, or drunk, or under the influence of something. Drag him out. Follow my finger. Fucking hold your leg up for 30 seconds. But he just
maybe
was
it was a rookie, and he was just like, this might be a setup. I don't want to fuck this up. Why are you talking crazy?
Internal affairs.
Yeah,
I'm internal affairs. I'm waiting for you to call me something bad.
You know what's going to happen? I'm really interested to see what happens to the police rep in the next 10 years, 5 years. So it's all affirmative action. It's all sleeping black female cops with fat asses. It's all Puerto Rican.
Okay, so, well, they kind of went off on the opster there, Stuttering John. A little Kevin Brennan smashing. Oh, why's Cumia trashing me, Neil? I knew they were going to get a smashing. Earlier, Chrissy Mayer got a little bit of a smashing. I might post that video either a little bit later or tomorrow. But, I mean, the Opster, what is there to say? I mean, that Opie show was terrible. Terrible. And then when Jimmy left the Opie show, and yes, the Opie show was ended because Jim Norton refused to work with Opie. Opie had to hire Sherrod, the Mad Cuban, and Vic Henley. and Vic and Matt Cuban died, and we learned from Opie that Sherrod Small doesn't talk to him anymore, and Sherrod Small blew him off because unless he has money, no one wants to do a show with Opie. But I mean, they were right. That Opie show was terrible, and he would just throw in lots of people there. Although it did lead to that fight between him and Jimmy when he had on D.L. Hughley, but Opie was just searching for people to do a show for him. That's all Opie was doing. Opie was like, I need other people to perform. Get anybody in here. So that's what Opie was doing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.